Education is always the answer. When there's a problem, there needs to be a solution. And solutions are figured out by testing them over time to get the same positive result that you seek time and time again. It's called uh, logic, basically. So what we have done is we've compared two presidents here with the immigration problem. We have Bill Clinton, a Rhodes Scholar, a lifetime a civil servant, and we have a real estate investor and a reality TV star. And here are the two solutions to immigration. One thought of, uh, a good 10, 12 years ago in NAFTA. Invest in the infrastructure of Mexico to satisfy the Mexicans and the other Latinos at home so they do not seek refuge and come over our borders at a rate of 1,800 illegal refugees a day. Crippling economies, no doubt, and causing all kinds of other problems. What's a real estate investor do? Pays an excavation company to build a wall. Seriously. This is what we are reduced to as American citizens. I'll go with the Rhodes Scholar who hired Ivy League accounting and finance students to go to the president of Mexico and sit down and have a discussion about the Mexican economy and the instability of it, which is what William Jefferson Clinton did. They devised a plan to bail us out of these immigration issues that we face today. And it was to invest in the Mexican infrastructure through business ventures like we've seen here in Ohio when General Motors and Ford and others moved plants and work to Mexico. It is a brilliant scheme because the employees will be Mexican. They will be Latin American, and they will be able to sustain a life in Latin America that does not constitute them taking their families and seeking refuge in the United States, as the Mexican and Latino governments are paid the dividends through systems of taxation and investing uh, to make it a better world for the Latin American community. The problem is that when we went there as businesses, we did not follow the American guidelines set forth to take care of the workers, to take care of the environment, to have things like ergonomic teams, to try to do all the right things because we are ahead of them and have learned from the issues that ensued. You can cite AK Steel in Middletown. They learned through getting fined, through breaking laws, and going to court that we do not tolerate this. The Mexican workers were paid fractions of what the American workers were. There's nothing they can do about it because there is no union. They caused damage to the environment. They were doing things that they would not do here in America. And what we got in return was nothing. The car prices stayed the same. So there's not an incentive for people to buy Mexican, which is what we need. We have to incentivize the flow of money in North America to impact the Latin American communities. We have manipulated their economies from the beginning. So it's time for us to forget about reality TV, forget about sharp campaigning, forget about humiliating soldiers, and abandon this Trump mechanism that continues to agitate the world. We need to sit down as an educated people and discuss things like how do we get back to NAFTA and enhance it to make it more effective because it is a brilliant solution to a problem that is apparent now. It was not apparent when it came to be because the government can see things from a macro standpoint to where individual citizens don't know anything until one of the media personalities throws it in their lap. Well, now we've got an immigration problem because they're not abiding by the right rules. Second of all, I think that as Democrats, or at least people who do not support Donald Trump, we have to be concerned when we see a leader step up with the charisma and the charm of Governor DeSantis in Florida. And all of a sudden we hear these reports that he's wanting to remove other cultures' histories from classrooms. We have to learn about history because we just went through something extremely similar to the book I've posted below, where a radical group took over the government and a young girl hid in silence and suffered because she was a Jew. This hate group went after and even created uh, manufacturing of mass murders for Jews, gays, handicaps. They were trying to filter out the entire race until it was the blonde-headed, blue-eyed Aryan that the SS prized so much. That's how dangerous these things are when you talk about taking over a government or taking over the Capitol building with a bunch of thugs. I see people on TV, reporters starting to backpedal because they're afraid of the Trump impact because his followers are radical. Not all of them, but the ones that you see with the broken down doors at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, kicking their boots off, threatening to kill staff, breaking in people's houses, beating them with hammers. These people are a part of the Trump mechanism, which must be disassembled by the Republican Party. You cannot send this man to be your representative again. So I hope that Governor DeSantis changes his stance and understands that we do need history in our classrooms, and that's coming from one who knows, because I'm a descendant of a president named Andrew Jackson, through his wives and his wife and first ladies, the Donaldsons. My story is a miraculous one about the birth of democracy here in the United States and how sometimes radical solutions work to get us where we need to go, but they need to be revisited and learned from. Much like a football game that you won, everybody didn't play perfectly. So we need to go back and take a look and analyze things to see if we can do a better job and be more efficient as a country that's going to participate in a new government of the world called the United Nations and start to mind our own fences